In the last video, I talked about a few important mindsets before you start a design. This time, I'm going to demonstrate a rigorous process for decision making. It's called a weighted decision matrix, WDM for short. Design is a decision-making process. You will probably make 10,000 decisions in every design project. But how do you know you're making the right design decisions? Making decisions for ourselves is tough enough, but in design, we make decisions for other people. We're deciding the benefits and features that our users will get. We're deciding how they will interact with our design. It's very easy to just choose what we would want or what we think our users would want. Often those are just the same thing. It's also easier to make a decision based on one criterion instead of struggling with all the trade-offs. So what we need is a method to record what our users want and make the best trade-offs we can. Then we can be as objective as possible as we work through those 10,000 decisions. The method we use is called the weighted decision matrix. This is my version. It's just a table with 6 different areas. I'll go over them and then do an example. At the top, we start with the problem we're trying to solve, the function of our design. Then at the bottom left, we list the criteria. The criteria are the words our user will use to describe a great solution, maybe in a review of our design. To the right of the criteria are the weightings. The weightings are how important each criterion is to the user. 1 is not that important, 5 is very important. The solutions go across the top right. These are the ways the problem can be solved. And the ratings go in the middle. These are how well each solution rates against each criterion. The totals at the bottom are the answer, the solution you should choose. The numbers in the circles show the right order to do them in. Okay, let's leap into an example and see how it plays out. For this example, I'm trying to decide what writing implement to recommend for recording inventions. Sometimes in design, you create completely new things. Sometimes you choose from a bunch of existing things. This is the latter. I could design my own writing implement, but there are a lot out there and it's not central to the change I'm trying to make. The function at the top is the problem I'm trying to solve. It is the function of the solution. For this, I'll write record design ideas on paper. This is what it does, not what it is. If I'm clear about this, the rest of the table is easier. I know I'm solving the right problem. As an aside, I already know my users are inventors, makers, designers, and engineers, so I have a clear idea of my users and their problem. Before I come up with solutions, I list the criteria. This involves some research. What is important for people recording inventions? I know something about this from personal experience, but I also did some research into it when I was choosing the paper for my book. We state these positively, so a high number is good. Easy to read. Note that I've defined which direction is good without making you assume. I could have write legibility, but that is neutral. I don't know which direction is good. Easy to use. Permanent. Easy to erase. That's a combination of the line disappearing and no paper damage. Again, I haven't said erasability, which is neutral. Sometimes you want it to be erasable, sometimes not. Permanent and easy to erase look to be in opposition, but you can have both. Doesn't bleed outward. Or smudge. Doesn't bleed through. So that you see it on the other side. I only have 6 criteria here, which is fine. If you have too many criteria, it washes out the totals. Make some hard decisions here. Now the weightings. These all look important, but if everything is important, nothing is important. These are the weightings I believe are important to my users, people recording their inventions. These are not specifically going to be your weightings as an individual. These are average group weightings. And now the solutions. By defining the function, the criteria, and the weightings first, it helps you choose the potential solutions. There are millions of potential solutions for any problem. You can't put them all in this table. Without criteria and weightings, you will pick random solutions. With criteria and weightings to guide you, you can pick some real contenders. These are the solutions I chose. The first is the Pentel Graph Gear 500. It's mechanical pencil with 0.3 millimeter lead. The second is the Uni Kuratoga with 0.5 millimeter lead. The third is the Palomino Blackwing 602. Fourth is the Pilot Friction. .5 millimeters. And the last is the Uniball Vision Needle. Also 0.5. Let's move to rating. I'm going to do this quickly, but you should be able to justify every rating. I have tested all of these against the criteria. I always rate in rows instead of columns, so I'm comparing all of the solutions against one criterion. I also force myself to rate with 1, 3, and 5 to push the totals farther apart for a clearer answer. Easy to read. 1, 3, 3, 5, and 5. The Pentel is too thin, and all of the pencils blend in a bit with the template. Easy to use. The thin lead snaps. The Blackwing needs sharpening. The Pilot runs out of ink more quickly than other pens. Permanent. The friction is low here because it uses heat to erase. I've actually lost part of a notebook by putting a cup of coffee on it. Easy to erase. I picked this last solution to demonstrate what happens when you miss a criterion. The uniball is not erasable. You could use whiteout, but then it would get a 0 for easy to use. I use a 0 to completely knock out a solution. This is code for game over. It doesn't matter if it gets a 5 on everything else. Doesn't bleed outward or smudge. At this point, I don't really need to rate the uniball because it's disqualified, but I'll just put the numbers in anyway. The pencils smudge over time. The uniball smudges if you touch it immediately. Doesn't bleed through. The uniball puts down a lot more ink, so it bleeds through more. Now the total for each solution. This is the sum of the weightings times the ratings. If you're using Excel, the function is called sum product. The calculation for the first column goes like this. 5 times 1 plus 4 times 1 plus 4 times 5 plus 3 times 3 plus 3 times 3 plus 2 times 5. And that all equals 57. For the rest of the columns, it is 75, 61, 81. And I won't bother with the last column. These two numbers are relatively close, so it looks like there are two good solutions. That's actually great because it says both work for different reasons. Personally, I use the pilot friction despite the risk of losing my ideas. I live in Canada, so heat isn't a big problem, and I learned not to put a coffee cup on my notebook. That was a weighted decision matrix. Whether we write it down or not, we do one of these for every decision we make. If we do it all in our head, we concentrate on one or two criteria, so we miss the trade-offs. We might even use criteria that are purely emotional. Imagine a human being doing that. If we write it down, we acknowledge the trade-offs and we struggle with them. It's more difficult, but we're more likely to make the right decision. So, next time you need to make an important decision, try a weighted decision matrix, especially if it's one of 10,000 decisions for someone else. Thank you for your time and attention.